Right, so good evening. Thanks for coming on board this webinar, guys, and just wanted to say thank you for taking the time out of your evening to come and just see my presentation, really see what I've got to show you, what I've got to talk about, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. So I'm going to start a talk about how to accelerate your hormones for rapid fat loss. Now, I don't know about you, but it's been quite irritating watching TV recently, seeing all these adverts and basically trying to sell you rubbish, really, and all this noise that comes out of the TV. And then the problem is, personally, is that they give you a discount, and but the problem is that they have no backing. They have no proof. They don't show you their expertise, and they don't show you their knowledge of what they know and how they can help you. So what I want to do tonight is basically not to sell you anything directly, but in the future I want to help you out with anything that you and with your goals specifically. Okay, so who is this big mouth? Well, my name's Django, and I am 24 years old, and I became a fitness instructor when I was 18. And previously to that, I came from Turkey originally in 1999, and came to the country barely knowing any English, couldn't really read or write. And from the age of 10, went to primary school, and went on to secondary school, and from there went on to college. And through college, obviously being 16 and moving on to 17, I wanted to get a car, so I applied to work in a kebab house, selling kebabs, taking orders, eating kebabs, pizzas, chicken burgers, chips, fried chicken, pizzas, garlic bread. I mean, literally, within 2 years of working there, I knew what it felt like to have a belly, because literally I had a little roll going over my belt. And obviously it wasn't really my passion, and from a very young age I decided to join swimming, and I became very competitively active at swimming. Right, I swam 2-3 times a week, played a bit of basketball, and played a lot of water polo as well. So I became a very young, fit individual from a very young age, and continued on through till 17. And after my career as a kebab man selling kebabs, I went on to doing labouring for 2 months, which was again a total shambles. It was horrible. I hated it, and I quickly realised that this wasn't my passion. So I basically backtracked and thought through my teenage years what I actually really enjoyed, what I actually liked doing, and it just literally clicked. After my college years of studying in sports progression level 2, it just clicked. I wanted to become a fitness expert and provide sort of have fun teaching fitness, really, in all aspects of nutrition, coaching, lifestyle management, and just help with anything possible, really. And then I literally came qualified when I was 18 years old, borrowed money off my grandparents, interest free, which was quite nice. And I've been qualified since I was 18, and I've worked in various leisure centres through Littledown. I'm sure if you guys live in Bournemouth, you know about Littledown, Pelhams, Roco. I started teaching body pump, Pilates. What else did I teach? Core stability, RPM, and spinning. And literally for 2-3 years, I taught this stuff about 20 hours a week. And from teaching, from the lifestyle of teaching of 20 hours of classes a week, again, began to realize that it's not a very sustainable lifestyle, because I was very injured very regularly, and I spent half my money, particularly on chiropractors and bloody massage therapists, just to fix my back. I was literally a mess, all right? And from there, I decided to launch Django Health and Fitness, and we've been going for now 2 years strong, and I've literally helped people with diabetes to use less insulin and to regulate their blood sugar levels, and on top of that, drop a ton of weight and to live a happier life. I've done previous seminars, offline seminars, and attracted over 60 people to these seminars. I've helped countless people add years to their lives, because of improved health and how I've made them feel, or 10 years younger. I've personally trained clients that have lost pretty much over 5 stone in less than a year. I've totally destroyed skin conditions of clients, all right, through nutrition and obviously a wholesome lifestyle. I've travelled the UK and learned from some of the best in the field of nutrition and fitness. I've trained clients to go on to half marathons or full marathons. I've helped rebalance female hormones for effortless weight loss. And I made sure pretty much that anyone that follows my plan, anyone that joins Django the Fitness, doesn't have to go out and buy bigger clothes, right? They have to shop for a new bloody wardrobe, which is pretty cool. And moving on. Okay, what I'll be talking about today is some fat loss myths, why women store fat in the bottom half, why men get man boobs, okay, why diets suck, and hormones and how everything is connected, and a nice quick action plan and the solid steps you need to take for rapid fat loss. All right. Now, I don't want you leaving confused after tonight, like this guy here. I want you to forget what you've learned before. I mean, if you've done Slimming Fast, Fad Diets, if you've done Weight Watchers, if you've done, what else is there, Slimming World, okay, I want you to forget about what you've learned there and try and have an open mind and try and take on board what I teach you tonight, okay? I'm not saying my way is the best way, but I'm just saying that what I've done was work with myself and my clients. And I know there's a few people on this call that have experienced the sort of Django health and fitness journey that have just lost a lot of weight with us, okay? And it's going to be a bullshit-free zone. I'm going to tell you what works for us or works for myself and my clients, so you can basically go home and apply the tips and techniques and just the meal plans to achieve further health and further goals. All right, and the reason I'm doing this is because I'm obviously very passionate about what I do, like I've told you, and I want to give out the best the content as I possibly can in my area, and just to show you guys that I know my stuff and I can really help you. And I'm literally as passionate as this guy here eating his cake. Okay, so the reason why diets fail is, well, sorry, the reason why diets fail because basically counting calories, points, and weighing and measuring, okay, it doesn't work because calories aren't created equal. Okay, everything you eat causes a hormonal response. So, for example, if you got an apple and you got a bowl of rice, right, those two separate foods are going to cause a different hormonal response in your body. All right, same for example, say a potato and a piece of broccoli. Again, starchy carbs and wholesome carbs. That's from the broccoli. It's not going to affect sugar levels, but potatoes obviously are going to spike your sugar levels, cause insulin response, and you're going to get belly fat storage. Okay, so we're going to talk a lot about the metabolism today and how it affects your weight loss goals and how it affects your body shape. Okay, so I'm going to ask you about this. Why is it that two people can eat the same amount of food and one gains weight while the other does not? All right, it's a very simple answer. Okay, it's basically a metabolism. All right. Now, what regulates the metabolism? And that is your hormones. Okay, and the specific role of the metabolism is basically to take the oxygen you breathe and the food you eat, okay, and process it to make energy and the fuel for life. All right, and this energy is basically made in little tiny factories called the mitochondria. These little bad boys. Okay, now when the mitochondria are not working to full capacity, what happens basically, you suffer symptoms like low energy levels, fatigue, slow metabolism, weight gain, you got memory loss, you got inability to put on muscle, and pretty much the list goes on. And the reason for this is, okay, this is very important, is because energy is the most important nutrient for healing. Now, I know you guys are on here for specifically fat loss and weight loss, but if your body's unwell, yeah, you are going to be overweight, most definitely. Okay. Now, when you take supplements that I can advise you later on in the call, and when you eat wholesome foods, when you actually get your body healthy, right? Okay, you're actually healing it. Okay, so a healthy body is a lean, athletic body, right? And the more toxic you are, the more crap you eat, and the more junk you have, the less healthy you are. So your inner engine doesn't run effectively. Okay, so basically, put simply, hormones are the body's chemical messengers that relay a signal from cell to cell. Okay, so here you see an engine inside your body. So this is exactly what it is basically. All right, so this inner engine, your metabolism basically keeps running through you throughout the day to burn fat and calories. Now imagine that engine rusty, it's not been serviced. Okay, the camber's not been changed. Okay, the oil's been there for years and years and years. So what happens basically? That engine's rusty, so the car's not going to run effectively or not even start. All right, it goes same for our body. Okay, if your metabolism isn't running effectively, you are going to be overweight, unwell, and very unhappy with how you look and feel. All right. Now these guys here, obviously, they got very nice six packs. All right, one on the right, one on the left. Okay, and basically these guys didn't get the six pack just for exercise, right? As you can see, they're very, very lean, very athletic. All right, so one on the right, it probably had lots of chefs and celebrity personal trainers in America. But if you take a look at a lady on the left here, she's got a nice slim figure. Okay, and to get to this state of health, right, you need to focus on nutrition and the quality of the food you eat. All right, so basically 70% diet and 30% gym. And you've got to remember that abs are not made in the kitchen. Sorry, abs are made in the kitchen, not in a gym. Okay, so you've got to focus on the quality of the food you eat, how often you eat, and the cleanness of the cleanliness of the food. Okay, so the hormonal overload, and what has happened over sort of the last say 3-4 decades, 30-40 years of basically junk food and the chemical waste that people put in the foods to put on our shelves and in our bellies. So it's literally particularly like a chemical danger of hazardous chemicals that we consume on a day-to-day basis, and not just by food. We've got the air we breathe, the stress we go through our jobs, through our families. A lack of money again. It's a whole hormonal response that causes in your body is going to affect you. Okay, but we're going to talk about specific chemical ones this evening. All right, so we've got pesticides, herbicides. We've got plastic compounds, industrial compounds, pharmaceutical drugs, and the main lot we can actually consume, milk, right? And the reason why milk's terrible is basically because of most dairy products are heavily processed and uses pasteurization and homogenization basically to increase its shelf life. Now, you can have eggs, all right? You can have full-fat yogurts, but particularly you should try and stay away from dairy as much as possible. All right. So because of the shelf life and because of the pasteurization, the process kills all the enzymes required to properly digest, the meaning that your body has to work overtime to digest them. All right. So specifically with milk, all right, because your body can't process it, it literally sticks to your gut walls and it stops you absorbing nutrients from your food. Okay. Sugar is pretty much dead calories. All right. Now you can find sugar in pretty much you got milk. Milk. You got white bread, brown bread. Okay, you got honey, fructose, maltose, dextrose, and also again all forms of sugar. Like alcohol is also sugar as well. And all this stuff, right, guys, it creates an insulin response. And the simpler the makeup of the sugar, and the more aggressive the insulin response. Okay, so for example, if you've got honey, right, it's liquid honey, that's going to have a quicker insulin response. You've got alcohol again, is a very quick insulin response. And so after the insulin response, it just stores more body fat. And unfortunately, again, so much of our diet basically contains sugar, and I mean, hidden away in packaged foods. All this low fat rubbish. It's coated with sugar to replace the fat, to give it some flavor. All right, and also, and the spike of insulin obviously is going to lead to more fat storage, energy fluctuations, and also interfere with your metabolism as well. Okay, red meat, and unless meat is organic, guys, you want to try and stay away from red meat specifically. All right, now if you think about milk, right, cows are fed. Basically, cows are kept pregnant for about 4 or 5 years to increase the uptake of their production of milk. Now imagine the cat being fattened up by these hormones. Okay, now that's going to do the exact same thing to us. All right, if this meat is coated with hormones that fatten the cow up, we're going to eat it and it's going to fatten us up. All right, so it's ever more so important now to go to your butchers, talk to them, and just check basically where they get their meat from, if it's organic, if it's free range, and if they actually cut it in the butchers itself. If they're a proper butcher, they're going to be honest with you guys. So and there's a nice one down Parkstone as well. I can't remember the name now, but I'll post it up later in the week for you. Okay, so because of these basically hormones and pro-hormones that fatten them up, it places basically stress on the metabolism. It increases our production of cellulite again, and water retention, and it just causes unwanted body fat. All right, so make sure it is a organic piece of meat. All right, processed foods, again, it's pretty much dead calories, guys, and you want to avoid these at all times because basically it's just full of E numbers, and if you can't read any of the names on the back of the pack, you should try and avoid it anyway. As simple as that. And you've got, again, processed foods. I mean, even what do you call them? Ready-made foods, right? Like Slim Fast. You've got Weight Watchers packaged foods. All this stuff, again, is all processed. And they've got stuff that makes you addicted to their food. If you come off I guarantee you, right? If you come off any of this stuff on today or tomorrow, you're going to get withdrawal symptoms. You are going to feel very, very tired, very fatigued, because you haven't got your fix. It's like a drug. When you have these toxins daily, on a day-to-day basis. And I'm sure if you've already done a detox in the past, you know what it feels like to come off coffee, to come off bread, to come off sugar. You know, I've had clients that had to leave work half through half the day because they felt so terrible because they cut off coffee alone. You know, so and hopefully you'll experience this afterwards, just to go through the whole detox and cleansing. All right, we've got wheat and gluten. Okay, for many wheat and gluten products, basically are simply indigestible and place stress on your digestive system, and leading to like sluggish metabolism, for example. All right, so you got like modern wheat, and is basically like sugar, and the way they process modern wheat is literally the same as sugar. All right, so avoid bread, just have a spoonful of sugar. It's pretty much the same thing. Okay, so try and, as an alternative, try and have wheat-free breads. You can get some really nice quality rye bread from Waitrose. All right, so try and have, if you are a bread addict, there are alternatives for you to wean yourself off it. All right, alcohol, simple as alcohol is there's no buts about it really. You know, one will make an effect to your liver, and it's quite simply a toxin, and your body finds it very hard to detoxify your system. And it also places a lot of stress upon your liver, kidneys, and adrenal glands. All right, so if you are looking to lose weight rapidly over the next 2 to 4 weeks, alcohol is simply a no-go. You need to avoid that like the plague. So if you have got any booze in the cupboards, give it to your mates so they can drink it, not yourself. Okay, sugar substitutes. Basically, again, it's avoid them entirely because they got loads of different names which I can't even pronounce. And it also leads to a lot of problems in later in life, from different cancers, and also joint pains, headaches, cramps, and numerous other medical problems, which I can't even remember the top back of my head. But what I know is it's not very good. All right, and also low-fat products. And what I think about low-fat products, or in fact, what you should be thinking about low-fat products is this. All right, whenever you see low-fat, think of this: low-fat equals get fat. And the reason for this is, like I said before, all right, when full-fat products like yogurts, for example, are stripped of their fat, they get replaced with sugar. All right, and I've looked at the backs of these low-fat yogurts, and they've literally got 18 to 19 grams of sugar. All right, and that is terrible for your waistline. Absolutely terrible. Okay, you guys know about insulin, right? The more sugar you have, the more insulin you produce, the more fat you store around your belly, around your waistline especially. So you really need to be careful about what you eat, all right? If you are going to buy packaged food, just check the label and see how much sugar is in it, all right? Just to be on the safe side in the future. Okay, so we're going to discuss about the hormonal overload and why women store fat in the lower body, okay, particularly around the thighs and buttock area, and why men get man boobs. And you probably guessed it already. I've already said it a few times. And the reason for this is basically one specific hormone is estrogen. Now, if you get in the trap of estrogen, right, you're in a bit of a difficult situation, because obviously the uptake of estrogen, when you're already producing estrogen, your body needs to sort this out. Okay, your body doesn't want excess estrogen floating around the bloodstream, so you need to get rid of it. And the body's way of doing this is basically is storing it in your fat cells. And women have receptors more so down the lower half of the body, which is why women get fat stored much more so around the lower body. And I've seen in my time where I've seen very slim women that have very toned upper bodies. You know, they've got a six-pack, they've got toned arms, nice shoulders. But when you look down below, okay, they have a very high estrogen problem because they cannot shift the bum and the legs. All right, and men particularly tend to get man boobs because they have the receptors around their chest area, which is why they get man boobs. Okay, I'm going to give you a little diagram here and give you an example of what I mean. Okay, if you see here, right, let me just maximize this a bit. You've got normal hormone binding, sorry, and you've got basically hormone mimicry. Now, what you're gonna find basically in this diagram is hormones mimic the role of estrogen hormones, right? So they confuse the hormone message the body sends out, which is basically hormone disruptors. So here you've got a general hormone that your body's made, so let's call this estrogen. Okay, and at the bottom you've got the foreign estrogens, which are called xenoestrogens. And what happens basically, these estrogens are similar to the hormones in your body, but they're not exactly the same. But what happens is they combine themselves to the inside or the cell membrane or the cell wall, and get absorbed into the body. So basically, they disrupt the body's biochemistry because of their ability to lock onto the hormone receptor sites, like here, all right? And basically, our body's chemistry hasn't managed to adapt to its response accordingly, okay? And every hormone thus resembles a key, as you can see here, all right? And the receptors affected by the resemblance of a special lock, just like this, all right, that only that key can open. And unfortunately, these foreign estrogens are very similar. They can lock on and completely disrupt the whole body's chemistry, which is not good. Okay, and the more so because of all the plastic bottles, the Teflon pans, the contraceptive pill, all the stuff again has estrogen in them, foreign estrogens, which affect the chemical makeup of your body, which is why it's so much more important now to eat clean, wholesome foods that are going to benefit you in the long run. I'll give you an example here, right? A high carbohydrate diet with a low fat and dairy is going to be devastating to your body shape. So a high carb, for example, could be pasta, rice. You've got potatoes, all right? A low fat, again, could be your low fat foods you buy from Tesco's, Weight Watchers, low fat products, yogurts, drinks, okay? And dairy is going to be your milk, specifically, okay? That's a major, major catastrophe. It's going to be devastating to your body shape because it's going to throw your hormones off the charts. All right? You're not going to be a happy bunny. All right, so now you sort of get the basics of estrogen and what it does and how it affects your body. All right, where it's stored specifically. All right, I'm going to talk about how to get rid of your hips later on in this webinar. All right, now we're going to move on to insulin and sugar specifically. And then we talked about sugar, how it causes an insulin response. Okay, and we all love sugar. All right, and the more of it we have, the higher insulin response we get. All right, the more belly fat you're going to store. Okay, so if you look at this blood sugar model here you can see stable blood sugar levels. So basically, let's say we just got up in the morning and we've got nice stable blood sugar levels, and you decide to go for a piece of toast with Marmite. I love Marmite as much as everybody else, but bread in the morning is a no-go, and especially wheat. All right, it's basically pretty much like sugar. And what happens there? Your blood sugar levels go up, so you carb overload. You get a nice blood sugar spike, and your pancreas releases insulin to get rid of all this excess glucose from your bloodstream, which goes into your fat cells, and specifically around your waistline. So if you've got, ladies and gents, or specifically ladies actually, if you have got slim legs, all right, you haven't got chunky ass, you haven't got bigger thighs, but you have got a bit of a belly, all right, this could be your main reason, because of too much sugar. It could be food, again, consuming too much Christmas food, for example. All right, too many chocolates, biscuits, too many snacks at work, too much alcohol on a day-to-day basis in the evenings after work just to relax. One glass of wine a night, it does add up, I promise you. All right, so if you take a look here, what I mean. So this is an example I've given you before where a girl I've met in the past, which she's got a very athletic upper body, but again has a very large bum and legs. Now I'm not talking about the hips, If you have big bones or wide hips because of your skeletal structure, then that can't be helped. But you can help remove fat around the legs and bum. Okay, and if you store around your tummy, it means because you have too much sugar day to day. Now I'm going to go on to about physical stress, chemical stress, electromagnetic stress, and nutritional stress. Now physical stress is more about the exercise you do, the day-to-day tasks you manage, all right, your work. When you drive, all right, if you have an argument, all right, if you're doing heavy laboring at work, lifting heavy things, all right, that's physical stress. All right, you've got chemical stress, which is basically the chemicals we have in our diets. Okay, electromagnetic stress, that's the phones, the microwaves, okay, where they come to contact with. And we've got nutritional stress, basically the junk food that we eat. All this stuff basically has an effect on our sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight to flight, which is our sort of the hecticness, rushing, exercising, taking the kids to school in traffic and rush hour. You've got if you're in a fight, for example, all right, so fight to flight, and this was originally created for our bodies, for our ancestors, to fight off or defend themselves in stressful situations, fight or flight, all right. And we've got the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our laid back side, okay, relaxed side. We like to go out and chill, enjoy ourselves, let your hair down, have a few drinks, have some sex, So the crucial part of this is basically, you need to keep it balanced. So the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. If the sympathetic nervous system is out of balance, so the yin and yang, okay, out of balance, you're going to have a whole load of problems where you're going to have too much cortisol response. Okay, and cortisol is, like I said, fight to flight. But what happens is if you've got too much stress for your day, your body releases more carbs into your body, okay, more sugar into the body, which leads to more insulin secretion, all right, which leads to more body fat storage. So it's really important to manage those stress levels on a day-to-day basis. And the key is to that, all right, you've got to focus on your nutrition. All right, if you're eating well, all right, if you're not intaking toxins, okay, you're going to be able to manage stress a lot better throughout your day. Okay, you're going to detoxify a lot better. Okay, you're going to have energy levels be through the roof. You wake up feeling fresh, clear. Okay, you can go throughout the day without having a coffee or living on coffee. You know, loads of people at the moment I talk to, you know, I ask them what they have for breakfast. Oh, coffee. All right. What did you have for mid-morning snack? Oh, coffee. What did you have for lunch? Oh, a sandwich and a coffee. You know, you're asking for trouble. You really are. And it's for all these like health TV programs, you know, people still are very confused with what to eat. Which is why we're here. Which is why I'm here. Okay, so what happens when the liver's detoxification system is overloaded? All right, this is key basically. If your liver is toxic and it's overloaded with constant garbage that you put in, like I said, the physical stress, chemical stress, nutritional stress, and your liver needs to get rid of this stuff, right? Because your liver is a detoxifier. And your liver, if your liver is toxic and you've got all this stuff in the bloodstream, okay, the answer is simple basically. If the liver doesn't function properly, all right, toxins that are exposed to accumulate in the body, all right, when the liver cannot process or detoxify toxins, there we go, when the liver cannot process detoxify toxins fast enough because of overload, the toxins have to be stored in the body to be dealt with later, and that's in our fat cells. All right, so the more junk we eat, the more alcohol we drink, the more milk we have, the more sugar we have, okay, the more unorganic meat we have, okay, the more caffeine we have, okay, all this stuff is going to be hormonally affecting your body, and your body needs to place it somewhere, which is in our fat cells. That's why we gain a lot of fat very quickly, because of the toxicity of the food that we come into contact with. All right. There's a little diagram of basically traditional diets that you see day to day, and also a nutritional cleanse. Now, traditional diets, basically, all they do is they cut your calories. They don't really focus on your health primarily. Okay, now you know that you've listened to me speak, blabber, all right? You know that if you cut calories down without cleansing, you're gonna actually poison yourself, all right? And the problem with fad diets or traditional diets that you see a lot of friends go on and fail is because they cut calories down, but they don't focus on the health. They don't focus on getting your liver working effectively. They don't focus on your digestive system. All they do is just cut calories down. You lose maybe 10, 12 pounds in 4 weeks, and you plateau, and you rebound. Okay, which is here. So the body gets smaller. The impurities of the in the body increases. Okay, the body senses basically levels of impurities in the body, and basically goes on the rebound, and you basically gain all the weight back again. And the focus of a nutritional cleanse is basically getting healthy, right? So you cut off the crap, cut off the junk. That's wheat, dairy, alcohol, caffeine, microwave foods, sugar substitutes, and sugar. All right, and replace all that with wholesome foods. Okay, the body gets rid of all the impurities. And this is what I said about the withdrawal symptoms, where you're going to feel rubbish, where you're going to feel crap for maybe 5-6 days. But that is a step you need to take to effectively lose weight in the long run. Okay, so you're going to be focusing on better overall health with less fat and more muscle. All right. Now, when we come back to the mitochondria, we were talking about how your metabolism, the metabolism role is to take oxygen we breathe in the food we eat and to process it for fuel for life, right? Now, when we come into contact with junk food, all this food that hasn't got any nutritional value, okay, it affects the metabolism because there is no energy in that food to give you energy. Okay, and that's why this whole obesity epidemic has risen so much because the junk food is quite addictive, right? And that's why people get addicted and just eat constantly. And when people haven't been taught, you see now. I mean, I've just recently joined up to be part of Jamie Oliver's food revolution, and it's incredible that when you see America, none of these kids and parents don't even know what to eat. It's the same facts in the UK. You see a lot of kids getting obese, but it's the parents that need to get educated so they can educate their kids. All right. And how this all happens, what happens basically, it just all flows into a nice domino effect. All right, so when you get these toxins in, it all plays a hormonal effect, and everything is connected. Okay. And when we go back to stress, for example, all right, you've got physical, chemical, electromagnetic, and we talked about the sympathetic, parasympathetic. All right, when you overstimulate stress, right, from dieting or exercise, like extreme dieting. I mean, when it's really low calorie diets, go on these shakes daily, 3 times a day, and not actually consuming any wholesome foods. This is going to really impact your brain. Okay, and then the two parts is basically your hypothalamus and your pituitary gland. Now, these two parts of the brain work hand in hand to basically run your adrenals, your thyroid, and the ovaries and your testicles. All right, but when these specific parts of the brain are overstimulated because of all these 4 things, right, it has a knock-on effect on everything else. And literally, like a domino, like a massive circle, goes round and round and round. And if you don't break out that cycle, it can have long-term chronic health problems in the future. Okay, big dysfunctions. And from there, it goes on to the digestive system. So if you're stressed, okay, if your adrenals are buggered, thyroid, ovaries, this has a major impact on your digestive system. Okay, and what it does, basically, it stops you from absorbing the nutrients from your food. Okay, stress stops you from absorbing nutrients from your food. Okay, and that happens if you're not absorbing nutrients from your food, that's going to have more stress on your body. Again, a major impact on your adrenals, again, thyroid, and the rest of the body. Okay, so it's a vicious cycle. Okay, and what happens over a long period of time, chronic stress and lack of nutrients, okay, literally a whole genetic makeup or your cellular structure, your cellular machinery don't work effectively. Okay, that problem then becomes very difficult to reverse in the future. So that's why it's so important to start as soon as possible and keep to these lifestyle habits. Okay, so dieting without detoxifying is one of the best ways to poison yourself and get you fatter. Okay. Now, the rise in circulating toxins during weight loss leads to a drop in resting metabolic rate and a reduction in the most active thyroid hormone, T3, which drives your metabolism. Okay, I mean, thyroid is a whole nother topic in hand, but I mean, some of you might know thyroid basically regulates your metabolism and your energy levels, and if your thyroid is buggered, it's going to be very difficult to sort that out. All right. Now, hearing what you've heard today, I'm not going to go into too long. I know it's a Tuesday night. I think the call's been for about half an hour now. A lot of people feel like this on a day-to-day basis. All right. So what I want you to do from today, like I said, have an open mind. Take on some of the stuff hopefully you've learnt. All right. Next thing I want you to do is get rid of your scales, get your tape measure out, and get your camera out. Okay. I don't want you to be emotionally connected to the scales and numbers, because the meal plan I'm going to give you, I would like you to follow religiously for the 2 weeks. Okay, and basically not weigh yourself at all. All I want you to do is take a photo and measure your waist and hips. And for your measurements, you're going to measure yourself from your belly button round. And for your hips, you're going to measure yourself from your hips, so your bum and thighs, not the bones. All right? And what I want you to do is not get emotionally connected to the scales and just track your progress over the 2 weeks, follow my meal plan, and seeing your results through your photos and through your through your measurements. Sorry. Okay, and as simple as this, basically, when you eat foods that fit your genes, you'll actually fit into your genes. Right, and as simple as that. If you eat foods that are designed for your genetic makeup, that aren't processed, you're going to have results. You're going to get results very quickly. Okay, and I'll give you some examples of some of my clients. Okay, Tracy here lost 19 pounds in 6 weeks. We got Chris Varney here. All right, he lost a stone in 4 weeks, in 6 months. I believe he lost a total of 3 stone, I believe, in 6 months. We've got Tony here, 6-week body transformation again. She lost 19 pounds. And we've got Sarah, who lost, do you know, I can't remember now, but she lost several inches, you can see, in 6 weeks. We've got Sam, she did this in 19 days. And we also got Gary, who lost 26 pounds in 6 weeks. All right, so basically my point is I'm talking about the metabolism again. It's all in the metabolism. If your internal machine isn't functioning properly, you're going to have major problems with weight loss. You're going to struggle day after day after day after day. If you go and trying new diet after new diet after new diet just because your friend's doing it, all right, you're going to again be in the nice cycle of these dieting cycle really. You're going to have struggle. You're going to be frustrated, cause more stress, cause more weight gain, and be a very unhappy bunny. Okay. Right, simple action plan, okay? For a minimum of 14 days, I need you to remove the following, which we've discussed, which is wheat gluten, dairy, processed foods, artificial sweeteners, alcohol, and caffeine for a minimum of 14 days, okay? Now, you might think that's a bit mad, a bit ludicrous, but if you want results like the guys I've just shown you here, okay, you're going to have to do that exactly that for 14 days. Okay, you're going to eat lots of fresh fish, organic beef, chicken, turkey, vegetables, and fruit. But what I want you to do is stick to mainly berries. Okay, we talked about estrogen. To detoxify estrogen levels, okay, you need to be consuming a lot of vegetables. And the specific ones are called the cruciferous, or from the cruciferous family. Okay, so that's watercress. You've got broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. You've got spinach. Okay, what else was there? What else was there? A bit of rocket as well, all right? I personally recommend you eat 2 portions of green veg a day. So that's lunch and dinner. Okay, if you want to go in that next step, you can have some for breakfast as well. Okay, so breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you can have spinach for breakfast, watercress for breakfast, sorry, for lunch. And you can focus on some of the stuff that you have to steam, like cabbage, broccoli, and cauliflower. Okay, even sprouts, all right? If you love sprouts, go ahead, eat as much as you like. Do not microwave your food, as it destroys 90% of the flavonoids that can help get rid of excess fat. So boiling destroys 60%. Okay, so the best way to eat your veg is to steam them. Okay, you want to be focusing on buying a few supplements that will tremendously help your goals and excretion of these toxins. Okay, glutamine, you can get that online, which is cheap as chips from My Protein. Okay, fish oils, if you write this down, it's called Aliment, A-L-I-M-E-N-T. Put that in Google and get their recommended omega-3 finest fish oils, which are fantastic. You're going to be taking them for the 2 weeks, 6 a day, 2 in the morning, 2 at lunch, and 2 in the evening. All right. Basically, what fish oils do, they help block off fat-storing hormones and help release stored fats from your body. And also, you want to be focusing on having a greens drink daily as well. And if you go write this in as well, Phil Richards, all right, or hang on, Phil Richards or Phil Richards Performance, all right, and go on Google, log onto his site, and get his product, Green Life, and that again will help excrete excess waste from your body, out your wee poo, and maybe nasal discharge as well, or in sweat. Okay, if you're a gym bunny, then it's not too bad, but I want you to start doing a resistance training plan, and 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps, and also focus on short periods of rest between each set. All right, very effective. Focus on compound exercises such as squats, lunges, and press-ups. If you do pull-ups, even better. Deadlifts, fantastic. All right, and make sure you drink plenty of clean water. I think 50 milliliters per. Hang on, let me think. Basically, try about 2 liters of water a day. All right. And lastly, you must get off your backside to lose your backside. Before we end, I want you to take on a few rules, basically. Okay. Now we talked about diet, we talked about hormones, we talked about the action plan, and I will send you the meal plan as well. If you can write my email address down, guys, it's info@Django, which is JANGO, health and andfitness.co.uk. And if you email me, I will send you across a meal plan to get you started, or well, tomorrow if you want. All right, but taking a step back from there, I want you to think about the rules you make in your head, basically, about these rules about starting Monday. All right, these rules about feeling guilty for having a treat. All right, these rules about peer pressure. All right, I want you to start a clean slate, whether it's tomorrow, next day, or the weekend. Okay, I want you to take these next few days one step at a time. I want you to focus on making solid steps forward, and not, if you're not confident, going in at 100%, because I want you to try and stick to these habits and make them a lifestyle instead of just a one-off journey. All right. So you're in for it for the long haul. All right. You know, some people come on board my camps and they say to me, right, you know, when can I start eating the old way? You know, I mean, you can't. You know, if you want to keep off the weight, you're going to really have to focus on adapting your new lifestyle and eating the wholesome foods that I recommended. Okay, so if you are going to feel like, if you do feel like having a treat, if you do feel like being unhealthy or being naughty and having a chocolate bar or having a pizza, okay, don't feel guilty for it. Just get back on track. Okay, one cheat meal isn't going to ruin your whole diet or your whole eating plan. Okay, but several days will. Just as one good meal isn't going to get you to your goal. Okay, so try not to be upset, cry about it, and just basically fall off the wagon, they say, and feel guilty enough, and then start back again. Okay, make lifestyle habits continuous. I mean, I have cheat meals every week. I have a pizza a week. You know, every so often I do have a kebab. I actually go back to my old kebab house where I used to work and get free food. Well, hey, score. So I mean, I am a human being as well, and I do like the odd kebab, the odd pizza, the odd takeaway. All right, but I focus on my health primarily, so I don't do it every day of my life. Okay, I don't drink every night. You know, I eat the foods that are going to benefit my body in the long run. Okay, before I finish, guys, you need to think about this. Right, I've given you the tools. Well, we'll give you the tools in the email. You need to think about your happiness, right? If you are happy, right, keep doing what you're doing. But if you're not happy and you want to be happy, you have to change something. Okay, you need to make solid steps to make that change happen, so you are happy, you are getting results, and you are achieving what you want to achieve. Okay, and taking steps one at a time. Okay, you need to find your why, your purpose, the reason why you want to lose weight, not just weight loss. All right. I'm not sure if you guys read my blogs, but I mentioned recently that I actually didn't take anybody on in January because I didn't want any time wasters on my camp. All right. I wanted them out in January, and I actually made a 24-answer questionnaire, so people are qualified and they actually are dedicated to their own goals and own results. You know, a free week is very easy to apply for, but hard to turn up to. If someone fills out a 24-answer questionnaire, then you know they're pretty dedicated to themselves and to their goals. So find out your why, find out your reason, find out your purpose of losing weight. Okay? Find out what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and how you're going to do it. I mean, by how. If you're going to have to make some spare time. If you're going to, everyone has 24 hours in the day. All right? What do you need to do to fit in that extra hour of exercise? What do you have to do to make sure you have 3 meals of food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner ready the next day? You're going to have to plan. You're going to have to make some time for your health. Maybe you're not going to have to go out and socialise with your mates for one night and actually get some food ready for the next 3-4 days. So you are set and you are prepared for those 4 days. All right? How much time are you prepared to give to exercise each week? You know, is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? You know, have you got your old clothes out from the wardrobe? You know, you're dedicated to get into that by, say, 6 months. Okay, you want to lose 2-3 stone in 6 months. You know, that's a set goal. All right, and you keep track of that with photos and measurements. Okay? So you got the tools. Email me at info@jangohealthandfitness.co.uk. All right, JANGO healthandfitness.co.uk. And I'll send that meal plan across to you tonight or whenever you email me, guys, all right? And lastly, if you don't start this right, if you don't at least give it a go, I'm going to get this little guy to come smash your face in. All right? So be good, be cool, and once again, I appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to come listen to me on this webinar. And if you have any questions, guys, shoot me an email. Like I said, my email address, and anything else you need, just give me a shout. Have a good night, and I shall speak to you soon. Bye-bye.